Good evening, folks, and thank you all for joining us for another Monday Mayhem. We're going to have a good time tonight. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. But before we get started, the first thing I wanted to let you guys know is last night when I went to bed, we had 35 to go to 10K. And today when I got up, we jumped by 10 subscriptions. So we're at 25 to go. We are 25 away from the elusive 10K. So, folks, believe me, every click helps, every like helps, every subscribe helps. So, still, according to the algorithm, about 40% of the people that watch our videos aren't subscribed. So, please, y'all, if you could take a second, just hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate it so much because once we break that 10K barrier, not only will that get us farther into the YouTube algorithm and allow us to continue to grow, it also helps support the channel. It helps us to continue to expand the community, to share this kind of writing and the stuff we do on the Nightmare Hunters. It allows us to get that out to a broader audience. Not to mention helps me and Robbie along the way because this show also helps us promote our books. Robbie, you've got some book news, don't you? Something you want to share with some folks?
Maybe
Maybe just a little bit.
A little bit. Kodiak's done. I got it done today. I don't know. I just got in one of those. It's not as long as I initially intended for it to be, but as Da said, the story is told, and the story told itself in the amount of time and pages that it needed to. It just ended up being a little over 37,000 words. But with that kind of story, sometimes less is more. And I think I told the story as good as it needed to be told in that, and I, 20 chapters plus a epilogue and a prologue. So I
that is awesome, dude. I am proud of you, brother. Now I need to get a fire lit under my own ass so I can start getting some more books out.
So hopefully y'all will enjoy it. It's like I said, it's completely, totally. Those of you that were on last Monday night and heard me read the prologue in the first chapter, you can tell it's completely different than anything Da and I have done before. So hope everybody enjoys it.
I think they will. And what I've read so far, I haven't finished it because you just finished it, but I haven't finished it yet. But I've liked what I've read. It's very entertaining. It's a very gut punching story. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. It's
very emotionally charged.
Yes, and if you're looking for a cryptid fix, you're probably not going to find it in this. However, if you're looking for good storytelling, you are going to find that in spades.
But it's not short on action, and it's not short on. There's not a cryptid in it, but there's probably the next best thing to a cryptid in it.
Yeah.
Maybe the title gives that away.
Well, the chat is really just zipping along. I've been trying to say hi to everybody, but it's moving by so fast I can't even keep up with it.
That's why I just say hey everyone. I try to say hey everyone, and then I try to say hey to individually again to the people say it, but I'll inevitably miss because I have to look down at my phone to type the answer, and then by the time I type it, by the time I type it and send it, I'm sure 2 or 3 others have flown by that I just miss. So
folks, if I didn't say hi to you in the chat, I apologize. I was trying to say hi to as many people as I could, but I tried to keep up, but I'm not as quick and nimble as I once was. Hopefully I'll have some release announcements for you all here in the next few days as well. Trying to get Dark Frontiers wrapped up. Then I can jump with both feet right smack in the middle a codename Wild Hunt Leviathan down, and at the same time, I'm going to be working on that nonfiction book on Bigfoot. If you guys would like to see a sneak peek of what the concept for the cover is, I'd be willing to share that if you guys would like to see it. If you guys would like to see it.
I'm pretty sure they will.
Well, let me jump over there then. I've got to open up the right.
Oh, and while you're looking at that, the next since DA said that Wild Hunt Leviathan Down is next in of his releases in our universe. The next of my releases in our shared universe is going to be Shadowhunters Project Manticore.
And if you want to know what Project Manticore is, you're going to have to read Dark Frontiers, the Devil of the Absarokas, to get the first glimpse of that.
And
so this,
then Grail Avalon Rising will have mention of it too. But to find out really what it is, you're going to have to find out in Dark Frontiers.
So this is a sneak peek. This is a concept. This is not a final cover. This is just what we're kind of working on right now. I kind of want to get y'all's input on it, see what you think. If it'll come up. There it is. What y'all think?
I like it. I think it's simple. It's symbolic too, because it's it's a shadow, or he's in the shadows, and it's I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be. Speaking of that, did you get my?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, was that what you wanted?
Docs, and I want to get basically. I may shorten it a little bit, just kind of take out some because I really only want a paragraph or two.
Well, I think mine was only 2 paragraphs.
Yeah, once I get it on paper, I'll get it because on the email it looked bigger, but I'll take a look at it once I've got it on paper because I'm going to put everybody's picture at the back with their little bio, and I want between the picture and the bio to take a single page, so each of us has a page establishing our bona fides for our theories in this book.
Yeah, Doc sent you his in our group text chat, so you've already got his. Mm-hmm. But yeah, mine was only 2 paragraphs because that's what you specifically said you wanted, so that's what I did.
And unlike my other books, this one is nonfiction. This is all our theories about the big guy here. It's everything we've talked about from eye shine. We're actually going to go into more detail than we have on the shows about eye shine, about backtracking. There's going to be diagrams in it. There's going to be some. There's going to be illustrations in it as well. So I'm working on compiling all of those. But I sat last night and came up with like 6 new chapters that I'm going to add to it. So this is probably going to be a pretty hefty book, maybe even considerably bigger than one of my novels. Ideally, if I could put a number on it now, depending on how these go, I'm probably looking at between 200 and 300 pages when this is all said and done. So it's going to be a pretty weighty field guide.
KC wants to know if you're going to include Teddy Roosevelt theory.
Yes, I am. That is going to be one of those chapters. Because that's something we kind of pioneered.
I think we did.
Yeah, it started showing up on other bigger channels after we did it, but I'm pretty sure we're the first ones that talked about it.
At least 3 of those bigger channels that I saw it on were like anywhere from 6 months to a year after we had already done the first show that I remember us doing about it.
I didn't read that anywhere. That's just me putting 2 and 2 from the Bauman story, looking at it like a cop. And then what I did was I made a list of notes and I sent it to Robbie. And I said, "What do you think?" And Robbie's like, "Yeah, you're spot on." So him and Doc and even Steve just started talking one night, throwing this around. And next thing you know, we had the whole fleshed out Teddy Roosevelt theory.
Yep.
Roxanne says, "What's your ETA for the book to be out?" Which one?
We've talked about 4 tonight, Roxanne.
Yeah. Dark Frontiers, Absaroka, Devil of the Absarokas. I'm hoping to have it in edits. Let's see, what is today? Monday? I'm hoping to have it in edits by Wednesday. And then I've just got to get a hold of Luca and get her to finalize the cover once I get her final page count. So in theory, knock on wood, I might have Dark Frontiers Devil of the Absarokas out by then a week from tonight, maybe. If everything goes well, I should have it out by next Monday. As for this one we were just talking about, the nonfiction one, I'm still compiling and writing and creating illustrations. So this one is a back burner project. It's not going to be a priority because I'm going to try to get the novels out because those are what pay the bills. So I've got to prioritize the novels, but this one's going to be being worked on at the same time. So I'm hoping I can have all of everything, all the illustrations done, and all this everything compiled and written by shortly after Christmas, or maybe even before. If I can really light a candle under my butt, no pun intended. If I can light a fire under myself, I hopefully could have it out by Christmas. And if any luck, I could also have codename Wild Hunt Leviathan down out by then as well.
And as soon as DA releases Dark Frontiers, Devil Labs Rokas, then after or as soon as that one's out, then just to answer your question, Curtis, this is answering your question.
Just be releasing it right on the heels of Absaroka.
Yeah, because there you need to read Devil of Absarokas before you read Avalon Rising.
Because some of the things that happen in Devil of the Absarokas are pertinent to what happens in Avalon Rising.
Yeah, and that's Avalon Rising's been done for a little while, but I've told EA that one needs to come out first, so that's why, and that's why I was kind of fast pacing on Kodiak. So just in case something happened and DA got tied up with that, I could release Cody because it's not going to matter in our timelines. It's not going to matter where Kodiak comes out. We were just talking about that before the show. Come on, matter of fact, that can come out no matter when, and it's not going to affect anything. But now that we've started,
less than 40,000 words, it shouldn't take me more than a day to get the layouts and everything done on that.
But
so as soon as he gets the edits done, I'm going to get the layouts done and send it right to him.
Yep.
And he can go ahead and release that as a stopgap until we get Absaroka and Avalon Rising out.
But if things work good and DA gets Avalon or gets Devil Absarokas done and gets it released by Wednesday, and then probably the follow, because Luke has already got the concept for the Avalon Rising. So all we're waiting on is for DA to get the final page count, and then it's just a matter of putting it in and letting Amazon do its thing, because everything else is done on it. I usually go ahead and get all that other stuff done in KDP. So all I'm waiting for is manuscript uploads, pictures, and all that stuff, and it's good to go. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks we'll have both of them done.
Yeah, I hope so. I think that's an attainable goal. I just got to knuckle down and get it over with. Now, before we get started with,
and Larry wants to know if we've got an updated timeline for both of
the combined books. We will work on one. We'll get one done. We've never sat down together and worked out a complete timeline. But I will update the timeline on my website. But then if I can get the nightmarehunter.com up and running, we'll have a combined timeline on there.
Well, it's up and running. He's just got to get it.
Yeah, I just got to get it adapted to where
adapted to what it needs to be for everybody.
So yeah, Larry, we will be working on that coming soon. But the first thing before we get started on Monday Mayhem tonight, I know we're already 15 minutes in, but first thing I wanted to do is I got to thinking, and I just really don't like this title. And that's part of the writing process. Without writing a book, you may change the title 6 times. But Gideon the Undying just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't jump out to me. So let's get some suggestions going. I thought Gideon of the Ninth, or Gideon of the Ninth Legion. I thought something like that. I also thought about kind of a play on my science, my sci-fi books, which would actually make a really brilliant connection if we went with this. Gideon and the Lost Legion, because If you've read The Lost Legion, there's a character in there that is definitely Gideon once you read between the lines. Eternal Soldier. I might get in a bit of trouble for that, uh, because that's what. Well, Eternal Soldier is a little different. But there was another writer named Barry Sadler. He's the guy that sung Ballad of the Green Berets. He had a series about a character based on the same Roman centurion called Casca, the Eternal Mercenary. And while him and I start with the same point, my Gideon is very different than his Casca. So I don't want to take anything away from Barry's books because those are freaking awesome books. If you have not read the Casca series by Barry Sadler, and then after he died, his son kept them going. They're good. They're really good. High action books, just absolutely brilliant in the way he researched that. And he does a whole series of like, and if you really wanted to, when you could read those series with my books in mind, and whenever he says Casca, think Gideon, because really, yeah, I read those books back in the '80s when I was a teenager, and I've reread them a couple of times since. But that was really what laid the seed in my brain for Gideon. That's where Gideon came from, was the reading those books. But my Gideon is different. Gideon: The Long Journey. Ooh. That's pretty good. Gideon 2, Electric Boogaloo. Centurion of the Lost Ninth. Ooh. Ooh. That's pretty good. Gideon of the Lost Legion. Toshi said that sounds better. Um, then he says Gideon Centurion Forevermore. Ooh. The Last Centurion. Gideon the Last Centurion. Gideon Centurion Forevermore is pretty cool. Gideon the Continued Saga. Gideon from Here to Armageddon. That's pretty cool, Kenny. Gideon the Early Years. I like that. But I really like a reference. If we have in some sort of reference to the Lost Legion or the Lost Ninth, it plays right in to connecting that to the future books, which happen, the sci-fi books. Gideon and the Lost Ninth. Uh, that's not bad. Ooh. How's that?
Kind of like that.
It kind of implies that not only was he part of the Lost Legion, but he's kind of lost in time too. Just kind of adrift in time until the final battle.
Kind of like that.
What do you guys think?
Because at some point, he really is gonna become a lost centurion because he's gonna cease to be. He might still be the centurion, but he's gonna be a lost centurion because at some point he's no longer gonna be a centurion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when he was in Scotland with Ramsay, he wasn't a centurion because that time had already passed.
What do you guys think? Now I'm going to take this like I do on all my other books. I'm going to take this text and cut it and paste it into a document, then turn it into an image file so I can what I will do is this is here for placeholder because I'm going to put my DA logo there. DA Roberts, the end is only beginning, www.daroberts.net. That little logo there that goes on the front of all my book covers. This is a placeholder for that. So that really doesn't matter. I was just playing with that. But I think I like this. Only we're going to have to bump this up. And let's go one more up on this as well. What do you guys think? Should it be in all caps? Let's take a look. Let's back up. Gideon, the lost centurion. What do you think?
I like it.
I'm going to make this just a hair bigger too. Let's take this up to 16. And of course, my logo is going to go there, so that's really irrelevant. Like I said, it's just a placeholder. What do you think, guys? Now,
Coach
there's something
said he
else I need to do that I should have done already, but we're going to different first page, different odd and even pages. Let's see. So this is Gideon the Lost.
Hey, my favorite part of writing, setting up all this crap.
Let's go with Roman. No, we don't want Times New Roman on that. We want Roman Modern.
Curtis likes it. Bible study with Living likes it. Don says I like it the other way. I don't. Well, what are you talking about, Don? Like what the other way? You talking about?
Here's a serious question: is it Centurion with an O or Centurion with an A at the end?
I think it's Centurion or Centurion, ION. Like way you got it spelled, I think.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Okay, so we're going to go with this. We're actually going to shrink this down. And then over here, we're also going to go with Roman Unical 10.
No, Don said.
Like I said, we're all kind of contributing on this, but I'm going to record this one separately from my other books, and we're going to donate all of the proceeds from this particular book to either the Till Valhalla project or the 22 a Day Foundation. One of the two. We haven't decided yet.
Don was saying he liked it the other way with the just lowercase other than.
What do you guys think? Lowercase, uppercase? Has an O. Thanks, Richie. I thought it did. So what do you guys think? Gideon all uppercase or just Gideon like Lost Centurion?
AJ says uppercase. Lene says uppercase. Toshi said he likes it either way, both. Bible studies with Jonathan wants to look at the lowercase again.
Okay.
Roxanne says upper.
There's lowercase.
Lisa says upper.
I like this font.
Curtis says upper.
Upper seems to be the
upper seems to be winning.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Mary Cole says upper.
You want to keep the
Carmen says upper
in regular case, or do you want it to all be uppercase?
Julie says upper. Toshi says upper looks better.
I'm gonna kind of put this as uppercase. What do you guys think? Do you
Don says he's voted. Don says he's voted out of off the island.
Casey says, I'd love to know how Gideon hasn't lost his mind and gone bat crap crazy. The guy is absolutely focused. He knows what's going to happen. But at the same time, he's carrying the grief of 2,000 years on his shoulders.
Well,
So the
I would
guys,
answer that by saying that being is who made him who he is, was able to look at him and know that he would be able to handle that and pick the right person to handle that. And that's
But
the
at the
only way he's not gone batshit crazy.
But at the same time, that poor bastard's got to have the world's worst case of PTSD.
Oh, I'm sure. But I'm just saying, if you have to look at it that way, it would have to be that he was picked for a reason.
Right. Richie says, DA, did you know the old Brits made mead with honey during your book time frame? Yeah. Mead is still made with honey today. I've got 4 or 5 recipes. I've got a buddy that made blueberry mead. Oh my God, that was good. It was honey with blueberries in it.
The Brits learned that from the Vikings.
The Vikings, they thrived on that.
Mm-hmm. Because the Vikings were doing it long before the Brits were.
I personally think I like it better, uppercase up here, lowercase here. That's just me.
I think the way you got it right there is, I think that looks the best, and I think everybody else in the chat has said this.
Toshi's on to something here. I'd say if he wanted to, I think Gideon would talk to someone over time and get over what he's seen and done. Do you guys remember the scene in Operation Blood Eagle in Argentina when Clark was having nightmares, was having trouble dealing with it, and Gideon told him the story of the fall of Constantinople? That, I think, is not only Gideon helping Clark, but helping himself.
Well, and he's done that kind of throughout in different stages.
Yeah, he's sat and talked with people at different times.
Which is really what he's doing here with Steve.
Yeah, it's exactly what he's doing with Steve. Well, okay then. I think we got that issue settled. I don't. Do you remember how?
I don't know why when you said that, I thought of Raising Arizona. Have you learned your lesson, guy? Oh, yes, sir. I have. Well, okay then.
Well, okay then.
I love that movie.
Yeah, boy, you got a panty on your head.
You never leave a man down.
I don't remember where we left off. I was going to read up to the point where we started. I think I know. He was just sending Reigen off.
Yep.
Okay. We'll say
he was just sending Reigen off, and he just sent a couple of his new guys to the hospital.
Yeah. That should cover.
Spitting out chiclets. I'll be right back.
Okay. I think I'll start reading what we wrote last time. Right there. I know that one's already been done. We mentioned that. He said Artorius Dragonis. Okay. I think I know where I'm going to start. I will start with Reigen leaving. Okay, I'll start right here. Ready? Gideon motioned for the gate crew to let him pass. As soon as the gates opened enough for him to pass through, Reigen kicked his heels and his horse leapt to a full gallop. Gideon watched him go, then climbed the ladder to the guard post at the top after the gates had shut. He watched until Reigen vanished into the thick trees and the sound of his hoofbeats faded to nothing. Gideon gathered his thoughts before climbing back down to the ground. Then he headed directly for the barracks where Cohort 1 was assigned. He shoved the door roughly open as he entered. He was shocked to see that most of the men were either lying on their beds or milling around. "What's this?" demanded Gideon. "Who the hell are you?" demanded one of the soldiers. "That's who the hell are you, Centurion?" snapped Gideon. As the man started to give a reply, it suddenly struck Gideon that all discipline had failed in this cohort. So, instead of letting the man speak, Gideon stepped forward and drove his fist into the man's mouth. Teeth scattered like white roaches and blood flew into the air. Before the man, I don't like white roaches. Let's say
Chicklets.
white stones. We can't say chiclets. They
I
didn't know what
know.
chiclets were back then.
I know. But
Dang
still,
it, Bubba.
it was chiclets he spit out his mouth.
Well, that's what I want to say, but it would not be. It might be correct to the period.
I know.
Teeth scattered like white stones, and blood flew into the air. Before the man had hit the ground, Gideon drew his spatha and put it to the throat of the nearest man on his bunk. "I'm your new centurion," bellowed Gideon. "Discipline will be restored, or my retribution will be severe. Do I make myself clear?" To a man, the soldiers got to their feet. Gideon could see that they were now dissuaded from the notion that they were no longer in the Legion. "You will behave like soldiers, I will send you all packing back to Gaul in boxes," snapped Gideon. "Understood?" Silence filled the room. Gideon turned and struck another soldier with the flat of the blade, sending him sprawling into the dirt with a knot on the side of his head. "I said understood," snarled Gideon. "Yes, sir," shouted the group in unison. "I can't hear you," roared Gideon. "Yes, sir," they called. "Good," snapped Gideon. "Now get these two to the Medica. The rest of you grab your kits and get out to the training yard." Gideon spent the next 6 hours drilling Cohort 1 like they were raw recruits. He only stopped when nearly half of them were puking and falling to the ground. "Cohort," snapped Gideon, "stand at ease. That's enough for now. Clean yourselves up, then clean your gear. We start again at first light." The men groaned and began slowly gathering their fallen brethren and equipment. "And clean up this mess," snapped Gideon, gesturing at the vomit all over the training field. Gideon watched until they had all cleaned the area, themselves and their gear. They all headed for the barracks, too exhausted to even stop at the fire pit to prepare a meal. Gideon made a mental note to tell the supply officer to give them extra rations to make up for the heavy workload he was about to push them through. Once they were all inside the barracks, Gideon turned and headed for the headquarters building to report to the Legatus Legionis and the Primus Pilus. He approached the door to the Principia. He removed his helmet and brushed the dirt out of his beard before opening the door. Inside, he found the Legatus and the Primus Pilus seated together at a large table. He wiped his feet on the rug just inside the door, then headed for the table. He stopped a few feet away and came to rigid attention. "Centurion Quintus Tiberius Lucius reporting," snapped Gideon. "Ah, Quintus," said the Legatus. "Please join us." Gideon was taken aback. It was highly unusual for a centurion of a cohort to be asked to join the senior commanders for dinner. He wasn't used to this kind of informality among the ranks. "Yes, sir," said Gideon, placing his helmet on the table before sitting down. "Now, Quintus," said Crixus, "tell us about your progress." Gideon spent the next few minutes explaining everything that had happened since he went into the barracks and found them lounging. "And the men you disciplined?" asked the Legatus. "One will likely be taking his meals in liquid form for a while," said Gideon. "The other was back working with the cohort within a few minutes." "You could have killed the one who spoke back to you," said Crixus. "It would have been well within your rights as a centurion, and it would have sent a strong message to the others." Gideon fidgeted a bit before he spoke. "I believe I got my point across, sir," replied Gideon. "And as short-handed as we are now, I felt it better not to add to that." "Well said," added the Legatus. "It's good that you were able to restore discipline without loss of life or resulting to flaying." "It's been my experience that flaying serves no purpose," replied Gideon. "It only makes good soldiers angry at their commanders, and it's bad for morale." "Let them hate so long as they fear," said Crixus. "Lucius Accius," replied Gideon. "I know the quote, but Accius was never a legionnaire, and the discipline of the legion must be supreme, or we will fail. We will fall." "You are well read," said the Legatus. "Not many of your rank have read Accius." "I read as much as I can," replied Gideon. Condition the body and the mind." "Excellent," said the Legatus. "And you have made my choice easier." "Choice, sir?" asked Gideon nervously. "In the battle that took place a few nights ago," began Crixus, "we lost more than you realize. Both the Tribunus Lataclavius and the Prefectus Castrorum were killed." "What?" asked Gideon in shock. Gideon's mind reeled, thinking that both the second in command of the legion, as well as the third, both fell in the battle. That hadn't happened in decades, not since the end of the Gaul campaign. "Yes, the battle did not go well," replied Crixus. "And I fear that reinforcements may be a long time coming," added the Legatus. "That is why I've promoted Crixus to Tribunus Lataclavius. I want you to take over as Primus Pilus." I want you to do for the entire Legion what you've been doing for cohorts 1 and 9. That explains the dinner, muttered Gideon. Get used to it, Quintus, said Crixus. You're one of us now. I'll get started first thing in the morning, said Gideon. I'll restore discipline and order. We're counting on you to do just that, replied Crixus. The thought struck Gideon on why it had never got this bad. Am I permitted to ask a question? Asked Gideon. Ask, Quintus, said Crixus. Which legions did you two serve in before the ninth? Asked Gideon, trying to remain calm and not sound disrespectful. This is my first posting to the Legion, replied the Legatus. I was appointed by my brother, a senator, and I came as his advisor, added Crixus. This is my first posting to the Legion as well. Gideon clamped his teeth together hard enough to make them creak. It was all he could do to prevent himself from snarling at them. They were political appointees with no Legion experience. No wonder the discipline was lax. Is that a problem? Asked the Legatus. No, sir, Gideon managed to say without giving away his anger. Good, said Crixus. Now, let's eat. Gideon ate in silence while the Legatus and the new Tribunus Lataclavius stuffed their faces on and toasted each other. All the while, Gideon silently fumed. These men didn't deserve to lead a legion. It went against everything the legion stood for. Their incompetence led to the death of so many good soldiers. As soon as he finished eating, Gideon excused himself and left the table. He headed out to the barracks. He might be the Primus Pilus now, but he refused to sleep in soft beds and have servants while his men slept on straw mats with only sparse heating and little food. He went to the barracks and removed his armor, then began the process of cleaning and sharpening his weapons, then cleaned the armor. It was only after all of his gear had been properly maintained that he allowed himself the luxury of cleaning himself before climbing into his bed. However, sleep would elude him for the remainder of the night. Chapter 6, Journey of Steel. 9 Martius, York. Ragan rode fast and hard as hard as he dared push the forlorn horse. And the only reason I put a sentence in that was so we get us over 15,000 words.
Yep.
Okay. I have to step away from the computer for just a moment. My diuretic is kicking in, and I will be right back. So let me I'm going to stop sharing this for a minute. I'm going to mute my camera and my microphone. Robbie, entertain some folks. Tell them about the book or something until I get back.
All right. So, anybody got any questions about the new books coming out, or waiting on DA to come back that I can answer while we're waiting? And I'm talking about either Avalon Rising or Kodiak. Any questions on either one of those? Hey, General, how you doing? Lisa, is Kodiak my sixth book? It depends on where it comes out. If DA gets Dark Frontiers done and I can go ahead and release Avalon Rising, then Kodiak will be the seventh book. It's the seventh book that I've written. It just depends on where it comes out, whether it's going to be released at 6 or 7. But it's seven. It's the seventh book that I've written. Yes, Lene, I've smelled balls, and they don't smell good. You've done got me with that joke. That ain't got anything to do with the books, Lene. Callan, I haven't done any of the pre-order stuff. I've looked at it, but most of the time when my stuff's ready, I just go ahead and put it out instead of doing that pre-order stuff. I've never fooled with it. I've seen it on there, but I've just never done it. Yeah, he cut his mic off, so he's not Lieutenant Drebin. Well, like I said, Toshi, or like we've said, we want it to be where you want to start reading both sets of books to figure stuff out instead of so. Quintus is back with us.
Got my thinking cap on. All right, let's share the screen again. So, what did you all think of for ideas for what happens to poor Reagan?
Hold up, Nick. If people want our books out there on audio, on Audible, that's just what you're going to have to deal with because DA and I've talked about that, and if we go in with a narrator, then he and I have to split 25% with whoever narrates it, and then Amazon gets the other 75%. If we do it this way with AI natural read, then we don't have to split that.
We get about 60% that way.
Yeah. So
I don't know why, but that's the way Amazon does it.
Yep. So
thanks, Roxanne.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the AI reader, but it's a way for us to both get our books out there on Audible, and it doesn't affect our bottom line as much as it does if we have to get an actual narrator involved.
All I have is the helmet. I wish I had the one with the Centurion's comb on top, and I would love to have a set of the armor. But yeah, that's probably not in my future because they are even replicas are pretty pricey.
Yeah, I'd like to get a replica of the one Leonidas had. And
oh yeah,
300. I love that one.
That helmet, yeah, that's a pretty helmet. Okay, so what are we going to do to poor Reagan?
Miss Lene wants him to smell mothballs. She asked me again. She said, "Have you smelled mothballs?" I'm like, "You already got me on this one time, but I'm gonna say it. Yes, I've smelled them, and they don't smell good."
General Dalton says, "Do you guys get a choice in the AI sound?" Yeah, we do. We get we can pick the voice. Some of them are not good. I tried to find one that kind of matched my accent, but there was very slim pickings. I didn't want to get any of the smarmy British sounding ones, or I thought about like some Australian ones because I thought they'd be funny, but no, I tried to match it to my accent as much as I could.
Yeah, I think I used 18, which is male English accent, 35 to 45, I think. But I said questions about the book, Miss Lene. I didn't say just questions in general.
Just a guy says, historically, did those ear flaps actually provide protection against weapons, DA? Yeah, they would cover the side of the neck, and the armor would actually have little raised, like a little raised area that went around the neck to try to deflect swords or arrows to keep them from hitting vital spots. Toshi says, I say have him get jumped by some of the survivors of the ambush he and Gideon met earlier, and one of the other wielders of the swords arrives to aid him. That's not bad.
Yeah, but the swords hadn't been made yet, so how are they going to? Are you talking about just somebody who is going to get one?
Yeah, somebody that will get one eventually, because the swords aren't made yet. Thank you, Miss Lene. Poor Reagan. What do we do to him?
Well, he's on his way to Wayland right now, right?
Mm-hmm. With the 7 shards.
I'm
gonna have to take this thing off. It's not comfortable. And especially with the flaps keep hitting me in the side of the face. I would not have want to worn one of these for
The
a long period of time.
last time I remember you wearing that was when me, you, and Doc dressed up for Halloween. What, 3 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. It's been in a box pretty much ever since.
Yeah.
Ugh.
For the first ever appearance of Bubba the Redneck Werewolf, to his reappearance the other night.
Yep. Nick Borer says, "What if he's jumped by deserters from the ninth?" Huh.
Have we said any of them deserted yet, or have we just
We
haven't really gone into what their fate is yet?
right. We haven't really said, so that's a
The
possibility.
the only thing that we've is when Gideon took some of that took the Spatha and some of the other stuff off the picks that they fought, but we never said if anybody was deserted or what yet.
Well, no wonder they're getting their asses kicked, considering who their commanders are.
That's true.
And like I've said, marching north of Hadrian's Wall was a stupid decision anyway. So this kind of explains why whoever was in charge of the ninth would make that stupid decision.
Because they don't know no better.
Right. And, going north into Caledonia, not the brightest of ideas, especially with just one legion. It'd be like trying to conquer something the size of Missouri with just one battalion of men.
Yeah.
It's just too many rednecks that are armed. You might get it done, but odds are very good. You're going to come under fire from every clump of grass you pass.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we hadn't really discussed what happened to him yet, so maybe some of them did desert. Maybe that is a good. I mean, obviously, it probably wouldn't be the ones that they took the weapon. Something different had to happen to those, but
right. Dorothy Wade says Kodiak is a bear. If he wears shoes, he's still barefooted.
Yep, he's still barefooted because his feet still are bare feet, whether they got shoes on or not.
I don't think they're going to find shoes to fit him anyway. They barely find him when he's in human form. He's just a big dude. Okay, I think I got an idea. Crack the knuckles. Why do I have a vision of Bugs Bunny doing the conducting now? Do 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 do. I used to do that when my boys were little. When I'd give them a bath when they're little dudes, I'd have them sitting in the sink or in the bathtub, and I'd do the and they still laugh about that. My oldest said when he has kids, he's going to do the same thing. Did they ever interrogate the prisoner? Hey, yeah, right. But that'll be for the next chapter.
Yeah, we talked about that. Part of that. We talked about that last Monday.
Yeah, I forgot to incorporate that.
No, you said that last Monday. You said, "Oh, but we had already decided to start this." So you said that was going to be in
the next chapter.
Yep. You said that was going to be Gideon's next thing to do after since he's got. I guess is he third or fourth in command now?
Technically, right now he'd be third.
Okay,
so they don't have a tribunus.
But you said that's since he's got his new rank. That's what he was going to. Yeah. Take care of.
Well, all right then. We can't do something right. Let's do something, even if it ain't right. Reagan rode as fast and hard as he dared, pushed the forlorn horse. the word I'm looking for here. Hold on. What do you say, bejesus?
I was just sitting there thinking, I wonder when that term came out.
Yeah, I don't think.
Probably not that early, because he probably would say the living hell out of me or living shite, either one. Why does the song "Little Red Riding"? Hey there, Little Red Riding Hood, keep going through my head right now?
Don't everybody say everything at once.
You're captivating. Well, they says, "Don't be eating the oatcake, Dragon."
Is that right? HAE.
Yeah, I think so. trying to remember. There's depending on how it's used. There's two different ways, but I think that's right. Exactly, Toshi.
What?
He said, "My lady, what big teeth you have." As soon as you started typing, I saw that come out. I started, "Hey there, little Red Riding Hood."
God dang it. I'm slipping in and out of the patois. I hate it when I do that.
Yeah, I do the same thing, and I'm like, God, ugh. To back up, or then you get to when you get into the same way when you get into the narrative part of it, you actually type the dialogue part. It's either six one, half dozen another.
Now this line I mixed it. There was no patois up here, and then down here there is.
Matter of fact, I got a copy of Howl of the Night Wolf right here. I got my chart in the back of it. I could be looking at that. That would at least help you some, I guess.
Larry says, question, I don't know if this has been answered before, but does anyone know why the old Campfire Tales can no longer be watched? We moved those over to members only after we got all of those books out on audio. Because if we just left them out there for free, that would basically kill audio sales. So if you're a member of the channel, you can watch them as many times as you want, but that way, this way, it still helps us get drive sales for the books because, frankly, quite as bad as it sounds, I know I don't like to think about it in terms of dollars and cents, but the books are how I make my living. That's how I put food on the table. And Robbie's trying to generate enough of an income where when he retires here soon, it's not going to be such a blow to his income. That's why we're trying to build up not only our book categories, and we're trying to build up the number of books we have out, but the more we each get out and the more book sales continue to grow, the more we'll be on pretty solid ground. And right
Yep.
now, I'm not. I'm not on solid ground.
And right now I've still got my job taken up for that, but when I retire in 4 years, that's basically going to take away an entire paycheck, and I'm only going to be making a fraction of that one paycheck that I'll be getting a month. So, and I don't want to go to Walmart and say, "Welcome to Walmart, get out," because I won't be there long.
Vicky, I'm sorry to hear about that. That's kind of heartbreaking to hear that.
Yeah, especially from a child doing that to you. I thought you were about to say he knocked her slap out. My pimp hand is strong.
Uh, I don't know. I'll have to look. I had Noah put him in the in members only, so I'll have to I'll have to have Noah check. He's out with his girlfriend tonight, so it won't be tonight, but I will try to get that answered for you as quick as I can.
Me dimpled arse.
trying to think of something else besides bloody hell that he would say.
Mm.
Hold on just a second. I'm looking something up. Dagda is one of the chief gods of the Celts.
You could have just had him say, Crom. We may can talk him into having somebody punch a camel Bible studies. I'm working on it.
The trick is finding a camel in medieval England.
True.
Actually,
I
not
said
even
we.
medieval. This is 108 PC,
Yeah.
108 AD. The odds of finding a camel pretty slim, but if Reagan runs into one, I'll have him punch it.
Then somebody would say, You're too big to be a thief. Because Nick asked me or asked Conan what was best in life. So, of course, Conan had to answer. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. Better watch out for that little witch cast a spell on you.
Bobby Boucher.
Foosball is the devil, Bobby Boucher.
I knew that's who you're quoting.
Ryan, you better come in here for that little witch cast a spell on you. Bible says camel or tomato, whatever. He can punch a horse instead of a camel.
You say horse or whore?
Horse. I said,
I thought you said whore.
oh, camel or horse, tomato. Ryan never catch that gorilla what escaped from the zoo and punched you in the
Punched
eye.
you in the eye. Will you stop quoting Bobby Boucher? I can't concentrate when you're throwing water boy lights at me.
I'm sorry. The chat's keeping me going. I'm sorry. I ain't got Doc here to play off of. I got the chat. They're helping me.
What?
Nothing. I can't say it. You forbid me.
Are you guys still quoting the water boy?
There were at least of the wolf creatures now following him. You didn't put a number.
There we go. Let's see if I.
I don't think you ever put a number on them.
Well, yeah.
So I think,
he did kill a few of them before they could
Yeah.
transform.
yeah, but I don't think you gave a number. So I think he killed a couple of them. But you said they kept coming out of the bushes. So I think you're good with that number. It wasn't like you said 4. He killed 3, and then now there's 5. I was about to say, would that not be when we're? I was waiting till you get to a spot.
I just probably fat fingered that thumb and getting ahead of myself.
I was just trying. I was waiting till you got to a spot where you stopped, so I didn't have you. I'm trying to be good, but you're not helping me.
I'm not helping you.
So, I'm in a hot pursuit.
All right, Roscoe.
I couldn't help it. You typed that. That's just the first thing that popped in my head.
Okay, I will change that.
Oh, you have to change it. I'm just saying that I couldn't help it. It just
Yeah, you, Robbie.
It just immediately pops in my head. Roscoe P. Coltrane. She's in hot pursuit. Hey, aren't these nights about having fun?
Yeah. There. Just pursuit.
Sorry, I'll try to be good.
You know, the sad thing is we ain't even been drinking. I've been drinking coffee.
I know. Yeah, just imagine how bad it would be if we'd had some whiskey. Water, Northwoods.
You know what fanning reins is?
That
When you go
this.
back
Oh,
and
okay,
forth
that's what that's called.
to hit the horse in the flanks to make him run faster.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that's what it was called.
He's going to jump another creek, and we're going to hear.
I didn't do it that time. Don't be blaming me. But that's funny. Then the horse is gonna go, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Good catch. Is it? No.
Yeah, I think it's OP.
Mr. Ed voice. Wilbur.
Or lagging. I can't run any faster. Keeps going like this, he's going to end up like the horse in Animal House.
Yeah. We need a name. Okay. Wrote myself into a spot. We need a name. Need a Celtic name, Scottish sounding, 108 BC. We need a name.
Come on, chat.
108 AD, not BC.
We've already talked about Margolin's ancestors, so it can't be him. Gideon sent him to Germania.
Yeah, send him to Germania. Be someone else's problem. How about this one? Pronounced Owen. Means born of the ewe. Common name for an archer. But, however, that doesn't work because this guy's not an archer.
His name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff. His name was Bobby Boucher.
Babas Boucheus. Babas Boucheus Debelis.
Ooh.
This is Brand. That be CN. CIAN.
How's that? William Wallace. A little early for William Wallace.
Yeah. Just a touch.
Angus, Aylin. I think Aylin is a woman's name. Rain. Rain's too close to Reagan. Liam. That's a possibility. What do you guys think of? Well, it's actually Alan. It's the earliest form of Alan.
Yeah. Toshi says Liam.
Scotch Gaelic for Alan, which is my middle name. Conan. Pushing dangerously close to some major copyrights right there. Lord Conan.
I didn't say Conan. I said Cornan. Cornhead. Nick said just spell Conan backwards will be Nanok.
Nanok.
Cormac's still kind of pushing the same thing, Toshi. That's still part of Robert E. Howard's.
Well, Cormac is an actual name. Other than Conan O'Brien, you really don't hear anybody named Conan.
Yeah.
Lord Conan, what is best in life?
But Cormac McCart.
Cormac McCarthy, the writer.
No, I'm talking about the Robert E. Howard's Cormac McCart, the one of his prequels to Conan.
You know, I didn't put two and two. Cormac McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's a pen name.
Might be. But Cormac McCart's an actual book.
Yeah, that's right. It is. I'd forgotten about that. I never put two and two together.
I've got it in there on my bookshelf. That's one of the first, besides Conan, that's one of the first sword and sorcery type books that I ever read.
Cormac of something. Red Grove sounds stupid. Cormac of what? Let's go with Cormac. I like that. Bible study says, Duncan McLeod, did I lose Robbie? Or did I lose me? Uh-oh. Okay, I guess that's Robbie that I lost. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, I guess Robbie got booted. I'll text him real quick. You guys help me think of Cormac of the something. Cormac of the. Wonder if Robbie might have lost internet or lost power because he hasn't texted me back. Of the Cheesehead clan. He's not from Minnesota. he's from Scotland. That's funny though. Miss Lene could be the satellite. I don't know what happened to Robbie. He hasn't texted me back yet. I wonder maybe he lost power or lost his internet. Weird. Oh, he's texting me. Of the Dale. That's not bad. Cormac of the Glen. There he is. The heck happened?
I don't know.
I thought it was me again, like the other night when me and you and Doc were talking.
I don't know if it was me or if it was because.
Well, I never disappeared off of the stream.
On my phone, though, we both disappeared.
Did we? Apparently,
it was spinning. It was spinning, and it showed, or it was showing it was spinning on my phone. And so I don't know if it was me or what, but on my phone, where I have to watch it on my phone for the chats and stuff. It was showing us both spin, or it was showing it was spinning and showed us both moving.
Did the aliens kidnap you, Robbie? This is Miss Lene. Shire sounds good. What the Shire? You make him sound like a hobbit. How about? Hmm, hmm. Oh, the Glen sounds okay, but I'm kind of leaning towards something. How about the Great Hall? Maybe. I'm kind of leaning towards something. How about something to do with a like a broken shield or something like that? Cormac of the Green Shield, Cormac Green Shield, or Cormac of the Broken Shield, or Cormac. I, I kind of want to like a play on Thor and Oaken Shield because I think that's a badass sounding name. But Cormac, Bloody Shield, Cormac, Oaken, not Oaken Shield, but Cormac, um,
Cormac Shield Reaver.
Cormac the Shield Reaver. What's Shield Reaver?
Well, Shield Breaker. But
Oh,
think about Howl the Night Wolf, who we had in there. Summer the Reaver.
mm-hmm.
Summer Lead the Reaver. So this could be a tie-in for him.
How do you spell Reaver?
I spelled it Revear.
I think Reaver. How is Reaver spelled?
Just like you got it spelled right there is how I spelled it. Now I've heard now if you want to do it like what you would call a person, I think it's Reiver. Like they're a reaver, but if you want to reeve something, it's the way you had it spelled.
Okay. Trying something here.
What's up, Sentinel?
What's up, Sentinel? Die Threabor. Microphone keeps slowing down, getting in my way. Robbie, you might want to make note of that. Dithreabor. Let's write that down, because I think that's going to have to show up in another book. That's going to have to show up in another book. That hammer is going to have to come back.
Yeah. You got an idea which book? Because I think I already do.
Well, it's there for the picking for either of us.
Well, I'm thinking it should be.
Well, considering it's in Scotland right now, unless Gideon hangs on to it, it's probably still there. So, there you go. There's a certain big guy on the Grail team that could get his hands on that.
Yeah.
He could do a hell of a lot of damage with an enchanted warhammer.
Yes, he could. I was thinking somebody else already has got a enchanted warhammer though too. Was given to him as a gift.
This ain't quite like that. This one's just pure combat. There's no thunder and lightning to it. We can create.
No, I wasn't talking about that one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
See, you forgot about that one, didn't you?
Well, that one will come back into play too. But
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. I wasn't talking about Clark's. I was talking about the other one. Because obviously, that one and the one we just wrote about, where they don't hold a candle to Clark's.
Sentinel says Skullbreaker is always a good one. I thought that was your nickname, Sentinel.
Yeah. Callum could probably do a lot of damage with that. The big Scott.
Yeah. What's Callum's name?
Callum Fraser. I think he's Gowan. I think.
Okay.
I'd have to go. Well, right here.
Here. You see the edit I just threw in? There you go.
I'm pretty sure that that's Callum Fraser.
I heard a kitty cat.
Yeah, she's wanting to make her presence be known for. It's her time. I'm gonna look up just to make sure that's right while you're doing that. Okay, Alistair Kane was Pendragon. That was the captain. So, nope. Well, yeah, it's Callum Fraser, but he was Lancelot on the team, not Gawain. But yeah, that's the one you're talking about. He's the big Scot that Rick fought in the training. That's the one you were talking about, right? The one he got in the ring with, and had to do sparring with. Yeah, that was Callum. Callum Frazier. But I was thinking he was Gowan, but he was Lancelot. It's bad when you can't remember your code names for your people you wrote.
Hold on a second.
Nope, was wrong. Lancelot's a breacher. The one we're thinking about is Duncan McKay, Mackay.
Okay, so I need to change
And
that.
so I was right because that's Gowan, but for some reason I was thinking it was Callum Frazier. But yes, it's Duncan McKay.
Mackay.
Yeah, Mac capital Kay.
Okay.
So I knew it was Gowan, but I just got which one was which, but mixed up. So good thing to have them right there next to you for. And plus, that was 2 books ago. It's hard to remember that stuff.
Okay. Uh, Richie says, "Did you listen to the Lower Life Ninja Sister?" I haven't had time, dude. No offense, but I probably get 70 videos sent to me a day. So I've kind of got to pick and choose when I've got time to watch all of them, even shorts. I get videos sent to me constantly. In fact, I think if I checked my messages right now, my Facebook messages, I'd probably have a dozen that I haven't even looked at yet. But I will try to get to it, Richie.
Good gracious. We're 4 minutes from the top of the hour.
Holy crap. Well, it's a Monday night, so I don't want to go too late because you've got to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I'm already stopped. Maybe we should stop here. We added almost 500 words tonight. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at
Not as
all.
much as I had kind of hoped for, but we kind of got a little bit of a late start too.
Late start and some derailments here and there, but
Okay. Uh, folks, I think this is what we're gonna kind of stop for tonight and pick up again next Monday. It's already almost 10, and like I said, Robbie's got to be at work in the morning, so we will stop that right there, and I will downsize that, and we got a few things that we will do. We plan to do. Nope, you're back. You don't, let's see. I want to see if we've gone up any subscriptions since we went up one, so we were 24 away from 10K. That's awesome.
Yep.
Um, so, um, now, folks, thank you guys and help us. Appreciate you guys, being with us tonight and hanging out with us. We really had a lively chat. The Bobby Boucher quotes were hilarious. Um, But thank you guys for tuning in. And if y'all don't mind, share the channel with everybody that enjoys this kind of content. Not only the writing, but the Nightmare Hunter stuff where we talk about Bigfoot and everything else. So let everybody know. And we are 24 away from 10K, and we're planning a pretty big giveaway for our 10K. Folks, I hope you guys that have not yet subscribed to the channel will do so, and we'd love to have you as part of the Nightmare Nation. As we start winding things down, I'd like to remind you to check out all of Robbie's books on Amazon.com. You can follow him on there, and you'll get alerted anytime that he releases a book. Same thing goes for me. You can follow me there. You can also find all of my books at daroberts.net, and hopefully soon I'll have the nightmarehunter.com up and running for all of us. It'll include links for the show, links to Doc, links to stuff that Steve does, links for Robbie's books, my books. It'll all be tied in together. It's since I'm pretty much doing this on my own, it's taken a little time because everything I do, like building websites or promotions and stuff, it all takes time away from the writing, which is really the bread and butter of things. So I try to balance everything as much as I can and still write. Folks, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Don't forget that we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and that is 22 too many. Reach out to your friends and family that are first responders. Reach out to the ones that were in the military or still are. Whatever branch they served, whatever capacity they served. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know you care, because you never know when that "Hey, are you okay?" text is what keeps them off the edge that day, because they are fighting demons, folks. And PTSD is a demon, and it's a bastard. I struggle with it myself. So reach out, let them know you think about them, let them know you care, because don't let them fight these demons alone. Because at least 22 times a day, these demons are winning, and we just can't let this continue. Uh, let's get 22 a day down to zero. And folks, keep folks like Greg House in your prayers. I know there's a number of people in the chat that could use it. Hell, pray for each other, pray for all of us, because we could all use it. Pray for our country; it's going through some rough times, and let's just try to be better to each other. I know sometimes it's not easy to do, but it's the world isn't exactly stable right now. And I'm not trying to get political. I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone or anything. I'm just saying that there are lean times coming, and if you can help each other, help each other. Be there for each other. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all people, and that's something I've always hoped that my writing, and I hope Robbie's does as well. I hope my writing helps to do is to share a respite from the world's troubles, to share a common vision. And that's why I don't bring in anything like politics or anything like that into my books. I don't plan to, and I won't start. It's just that I want these stories to be a uniting force. I've said it many times, and I will always say it. Stories are journeys that we take together. And I want to thank each and every one of you for taking that journey with us. And those journeys, every one of us can experience those journeys in novels, no matter what side of the fence you're on, what walk of life you come from, your background doesn't matter. These stories are there for all of us to experience in our own ways. And one of the most happy things that I get to experience as a writer is hearing my stories through someone else's eyes. Someone tells me how much they enjoyed a book, and tell me how they see the character in their mind, to me it's just mind blowing, because I'm just a hillbilly from Route 3, Lebanon, Missouri. I'm just a farm kid from basically a wide spot in the road, and well, Lebanon's a little bigger than that now, but it didn't used to be. But I'm at the end of the day, I'm just a hillbilly from the sticks of Missouri, and to see that my writing has touched people far and wide of all walks of life, and to me, it's one of the most humbling and rewarding things in the world. And hearing how much people enjoy what I write and what I've done, what I've presented, to me, that's better than any award I could ever win. I don't care about winning any awards. My awards come from you. Uh, to hear people have enjoyed my books enough to read them multiple times, that's a better reward than anything I could, hang on the wall. I'd rather have warning zombies, enter it inside on your own risk. I'd rather have that than a plaque from any publishing company, because those plaques don't mean a damn thing without you guys, enjoying the works, without you guys being there to share the experience, to share the journey as we continue to progress these stories. And this story we're telling together, I'm really proud of it. You guys have really helped mold this and take it in directions I didn't even envision when I first started putting words to paper, and well, words to computer screen technically. But you guys have made this an amazing journey. And if you'd have told me 15 years ago when I first started this journey that I would be here with you guys writing a novel together, I never would have thought that possible. And considering, some of the people I've talked to at conventions and some of the amazing people I've met along the way, guys that are as close to me as my own family, Robbie, Doc, Steve, those guys are like brothers to me. Wyatt, he's family. I've met some I've met some awesome folks who became family. I mean, Casey is in the group. Kevin Bode is in the group. Casey and Angel are just awesome people. They're family to us. Miss Lene, got to meet and hang out with her and her husband and her dogs, and she's like my adopted mom. I mean, I know she's not that much older than me, but that's kind of how I feel about her. She reminds me so much of my mother that I lost when I was a kid. And I'm just thrilled to death that I have got to share these experiences and meet these amazing people along this journey. And I want to know where I'm going to be in 15 years. Yeah, I'll be 70 years old, but hey, Cormac McCarthy's 95 and he's still writing books. So if I can keep one foot in front of the other and keep moving on, I'd like to see where the next 15, 20, 25, 30, however many years I've got left, and where this journey takes us together. And I pray for each and every one of you every night. And I hope each and every one of you have nothing but happiness and prosperity. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. No other author out there is my competition, this Yahoo over here included. I am thrilled to death to see his progress as an author because he is really knocking it out of the park. And he's progressing so much faster than I did. And Robbie keeps trying to give me credit for that, but the credit is really his. All I did was give him the nudge and the direction and answered questions along the way. Now, granted, I wish I'd have had somebody like that to kind of mentor me when I was first going along, but there's really the onus of it is on Robbie. And the fact that he has taken what I have told him, taken it to heart, and his writing has, if you look at book one all the way up to the one he just finished, his progress is way better than anything I did through all 10 books of the Ragnarok books. It took me years to start perfecting my craft, and he is progressing so well. And I'm so proud of this Yahoo over here. And I couldn't be prouder if he was my own son. I mean, he's my brother as far as I'm concerned. So
You'd have to have me at like 3 years old if I was your son there, buddy.
yeah, well, I was precocious. Clearly, I was precocious.
You must have been.
But yeah, folks, thank you guys so much for taking this journey with us, and I've enjoyed each and every step along the way. Yes, there have been setbacks. Yes, there's been obstacles to overcome, but nothing in this life worthwhile ever came easy. Because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. And again, I want to see where this journey takes me in the next 25 to 30 years, however long the good Lord's got deems it worthy, deems it fit to leave me here. And I appreciate all of you, and I want to thank all of you. And from the bottom of my heart, I truly mean it. Thank you guys so much for making the dream of this this farm kid from Lebanon, Missouri, who dreamed of being a writer back in the early '70s when everybody said, "Oh, that's cute," and never thought I could do it. Hell, for the longest time, I was convinced I couldn't do it. But there are people that believed in me that got me here. And my wife's one of them. My sons certainly believed in me. There are people I used to work with that believed in me, that helped me get the Ragnarok books done. Then I met guys like Doc and Robbie and Steve. They've all encouraged me, and I've encouraged them as much as I can. I tried to be there for them too, to help them along the way. And I, uh, I'm proud of where the journey has taken us. And you know, there are times when I rail against the coming of the darkness, as they say, because Wednesday night we have a true giant in the field back on the show. Jonathan Mayberry will be back with us, talking about books and some of his new announcements that he's just made, because he is really getting his name out there, and he's a big name, many-time New York Times bestseller. Jonathan Mayberry is the benchmark of where I would like to one day be, and I hope I can get there. And if Robbie beats me there, so be it. I'll be thrilled to death for him. But I hope we both get there. I know there's room on everybody's bookshelves for multiple authors, and I don't begrudge anybody their success. In fact, I applaud them, uh, because this is a hard road. It really is. You struggle each and every day to get readers. You struggle to get your name out there, to promote. And when you're an independent author, you don't have a book publisher doing all your promotion work. And this is all on us. Every bit of the legwork is on us. We promote each other, and there's a few other authors that we kind of started cross promoting with, like Luca and Heath and a few others. But we're working to build that community where, as authors, we're sharing each other, we're lifting each other up, and
Mm-hmm.
I hope that continues, because I think that is the best approach we could possibly make. And what's going
Hey,
on?
Roger.
Arlen said, he said, my wife passed away on the 50th anniversary of my ETS, estimated time separation from the Army. That will be 11th the next month. Arlen, if my books helped to that in any way, brother, I am proud as hell that they did, and I am sorry for your loss. Um, yeah, I'll be praying for you, brother. I will. Um, Miss Lene said it best here, Robbie. You need to read out what Miss Lene said.
I read it, but you know how I feel
Well, I
because it
appreciate you try to
it
get
didn't,
it, but it ain't me, brother. It's
but
you.
it didn't matter if I had it if I didn't have you to pull it out of me. Then it wouldn't. It didn't matter how good I can do it either.
I'm just proud I could have helped along the way. That's
Because
brother. We're on this journey together, whether we like it or
I
not.
no, I know, but
And you
I'm.
succeeding is me succeeding, as far as I'm
It's
concerned.
not lost on me that you're the one that inspired me to get to where I'm at,
Thank you,
and you
Brian.
also helped me to do it the right way. Like lessons that that you taught me in book one, letting me write it the way I did, and then saying, "Okay, now go back and do it this way."
Fix this and this and this and this.
Fix it. It took me as long to go back and fix what I had wrote the wrong way as it did to write the entire book. You know.
What's the thing I always say about my first novel? What I learned writing my first book was how not to write a book.
Yep.
You got, because there's so much you got to fix. But by the second, third, and even fourth book, you've got that pattern down, and you're
Yep.
starting to fix your own mistakes as you're making them. Miss Lene says, "Listen here, whippersnapper, you was doing good." Well, thank you, Miss Lene, and I know Robbie is doing very well. Um, I was looking to see. Well, Toshi, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So, folks, I'll quit droning on and let you guys get to your rest of your evening. I'm going to try to get some more writing done and try to get some more layouts done on Robbie's newest. And Arlen, I'm sorry, brother. I know Annette and I have been together, be 34 years next year, and if anything were to happen to her, I'd be lost. I would be lost, absolutely. Uh, as much as we aggravate the piss out of each other, yeah, I'd just be absolutely lost without her. And hell, I don't even think I could stay in Springfield, because literally everywhere I go reminds me of her. But I hope that I don't have to worry about that for a good long time. Um, Thank you, Nick. Very appreciate that. He says the greatest of journeys begin by putting one foot in front of another. Best view of knocked out of the park. Best view of knocked it out of the park. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And we're going to keep putting one foot in front of the other and releasing books and doing short stories and doing podcasts and I want to make the big announcement. I haven't heard back from my buddy Race, uh, but we'll talk more about this in the near future, because I'm going to have Race on the show. But we are joining a network called the UnX Network. They were going to be providing one of the cryptid show for their network, and they have numerous podcasts on UFOs, aliens, cryptids, hauntings, alternate healing, consciousness, and more on the NX network. Multiple podcast hosts include Peter Robbins, Micah Hanks, Clyde Lewis, Margie Kay, and Eric Mintel, and many more. Check out the UNX Network, unxnetwork.com, to check out some of their podcasts because they're pretty amazing. And by joining this network, it's going to basically get us out into more of a global audience than what we're getting now, because they already have a devoted listener base in the hundreds of thousands. And we're lucky to get 11, 1200, 1300, 1400 views on a video. And I think if we can get our name out there, hitting 10K and joining UNX, I think it's going to take us a long way. And I think we're going to see huge things for the podcast and by extension the books, because that'll put our names in front of a lot more people. So that's an answer to a lot of prayers right there. And again, like I said, folks, the world is kind of crazy right now. So pray for one another, take care of one another, and we appreciate all of your well wishes and prayers and positive words y'all send our way. And keeping my fingers crossed that this leads on to bigger and better things for all of us. So without further ado, I'll stop getting all blubbery and start winding things down. And we do a slightly different toast on this show, and I'm pretty happy to have this toast. I first heard this from a buddy of mine, Dr. Paul Tomlinson. He's a psychologist with the Cox program. He's also the lead singer in a band called Innuendo, and I love going to listen to them. They're a cover band; they just play local. But Paul's an awesome dude, and he always closes out his concerts with this quote, and I just really liked it. And it applies here as well. It's an old Irish quote, so it's not like I'm stealing it from Paul. It's an old quote, hundreds of years old, but it certainly applies here, and it certainly applies to all of you, because you guys are, not just part of the Nightmare Nation, but you're part of our family, and we're happy to have each and every one of you. So we're going to close her out, and I'll actually do it this time because I've been asking Robbie. I'm not going to take my hat off because this one's not the melancholy quote we use on the other shows, but we're going to close her out with this one, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday night with Jonathan Mayberry, and again on Saturday night when we've got Robbie. You want to tell them who we got on Saturday night?
Oh, yes, we've got Maggie and her crew from we've showed the video on our show a couple weeks ago.
A few weeks
The
ago.
Eye Shine from the ATV or UTV, whatever you want to call it. So Maggie Johnson will be on with us, and her daughter, and the friend that was in the photo of the foot next to the footprint. So that'll be a good show. Maggie is compiling a bunch of videos and pictures, and she's going to be emailing. If she hadn't already done it, she's going to be emailing them to you, DA, so you can get everything set up. So it should be a really good show. They're excited.
Good night. But we've also got more coming up. I'm going to be having Jesus Payan coming back. I've already been talking to him about having him come back, and we're still finalizing a date. But my buddy Clint Bruce, who's a retired Naval Spec War Group guys, I think you guys can read between the lines and know what Navy Special Warfare Group is. But I don't want to call him out. He's played in the NFL. Played at Annapolis. I mean, this guy's been there and done that. And
Name should be familiar for other reasons too.
Yeah, I also used him in the book, and he's going to be in Leviathan Down as a far more prominent character. But Clint Bruce is just one of those all around. He's one of those guys that can just get shit done, and he's a motivational speaker. He's helped countless veterans with his Trident Foundation, and he's going to come on here and talk about the warrior mindset, which is something we've talked about. Having the right mindset to survive adversity, to survive cryptid attacks, to survive anything really. But we're going to get Clint come on in probably in a week or so. Once I get a date nailed down, and then we'll have him on, and I think you guys will really enjoy hearing him talk because he's just an awesome dude. If you looked up badass in the dictionary, you'd probably have a picture of Clint grinning back at you. I mean, he's a larger than life dude that has been there and done that. And I think you guys are going to enjoy hearing him talk. But we're going to close her out. Like I said, we got some great shows coming up, and it's all because you guys made it possible. And we're really proud to be bringing you this kind of content and to continue to bring it to it in the future. So as we close her out, we're going to raise a toast. And Roger, I saw your comment. It doesn't matter what you're drinking because I got coffee. Or we could toast with, let's just grab your flask. Grab your flask. Got your flask?
I got it, but I ain't got anything in it.
Oh, well, then use your water bottle. If you ain't got nothing in it, it don't matter.
I got it.
I got a little taste of the Irish in this one. Anyway, the quote says, there are good ships and wood ships and ships that sail the seas, but the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. Slàinte, and we will see you guys on Wednesday night. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Plains, the winds are howling, saloon doors swinging, shadows growling. 3 lawmen stand tough as rawhide. Yeah, Doc and DA, nothing can abide. Whiskey shots and poker faces, staring down the darkest spaces in this town where legends roam. These boys bring justice, sending evil home. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Jed's a howler, claws of steel. Doc's a biter, makes the devil real. But DA's a shifty, want a shape-shifting soul. Can turn to anything, takes any form, takes control. Tonight the chupacabras come to town, sucking the life from all around. But these lawmen, they ain't afraid. They'll face the darkness unafraid. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Bat wings flap, the air grows cold, a chill and trap. But these lawmen, they're ready to fight underneath the pale moonlight. Jed and Doc transform with a howl. DA shifts, becomes a night owl. Together they stand, a force so strong against the evil right in the road. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night.